What's going on, you guys? You know exactly what the day is. You know exactly what time it is. So who's nobody's, bitch, right?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am, of course, your ERC here, Driune Santana, or just Santana. And I'm one half of the only dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history, the Salt Shakers. And of course, I am here with my co-host, Queen Steph Hardy of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, our host and writer here at Women's Wrestling Talk. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right, Stephanie, how are you doing on this wonderful Friday? There's a lot of wrestling happening as we speak. Under Siege is going on right now. Rampage is also going on right now, which y'all know we don't cover that absolutely anymore. And we just wrapped up SmackDown the night before Night of Champions, of course, which is probably like daytime a little bit over there for them and everything like that. But yeah, so Stephanie, how you feeling this Friday? Like I said, it's a lot that's happening as we speak. I'm telling you right now, I'm a little stressed out because I'm trying to watch Deanna and Jordan right now. So
yeah, shout out to Deanna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion, as well as Jordan Grace at Under Siege. I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty rested. I'm ready for this long weekend. And not only is it a long weekend in terms of the holiday, it's long in terms of wrestling, but it's been really good. I'm really excited.
yeah, so I mean, like SmackDown, this is our take-home show before Night of Champions. So I mean, there's a lot of things that happened, but like I said, I was a little cross-eyed tonight, watching Under Siege and watching SmackDown because we do have our Under Siege post-show happening a couple of hours after we finish our SmackDown post-show. So yeah, there's gonna be me and Nikki. We're gonna cover that and everything like that. But child, I'm stressed because Deanna and Jordan are going crazy over here. But we're not going to waste too much of your time. We're going to go ahead and dive right into SmackDown because there are some things that took place tonight that kind of gave me a little, side eye and made me want to scrub up. But you already know with who. All right, so we opened up the show with Sheamus versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. This match here was going really well. Sheamus came out, of course, with my man Pete. And Ridge was also there as well did she win? I'm sorry. So in the process I'm trying to keep up with everything. I'm trying to keep up with absolutely everything. So it looks like she did. Okay. Oh, damn. That means Jordan does not get an opportunity. No more opportunities for Jordan Grace at all. She can't.
As long as Deanna's champion.
Yeah. All right. But we'll say about that for the series poster. I'm just saying, like I said, a lot's happening. So Austin Theory did defend his title tonight against Sheamus, and despite the interference of Pretty Deadly, getting themselves involved, because of course last week Pretty Deadly did face the Brawling Brutes, and Pretty Deadly did pick up the victory. So it seems as if like the Brawling Brutes and Pretty Deadly are going to be starting out this feud going on with each other, including Sheamus and maybe possibly Theory as well, because even though Sheamus was beating the hell. Is she talking now? Oh my God, who's in the crowd? Despite the fact that he was talking a lot of trash and things like that, and despite Pretty Deadly even getting involved, it allowed Theory to retain his title with rolling up and holding those Sheamus tights. Now I know Sheamus is not too happy about that, and neither are the Brawling Brutes, because they did exactly what they could do, but it did not become successful for Sheamus at all whatsoever. But with this being the opening match here, did you think that maybe Theory could have lost since he's not necessarily defending his title at Night of Champions? Do you think that Sheamus would get another opportunity, or do you feel like there's going to be a midst of a feud between Pretty Deadly tagging alongside Theory versus Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes as we continue on with whatever the Pretty Deadly has up their sleeve?
Yeah, this was really surprising for me because, I thought that maybe Sheamus and Austin would fight. But I wasn't expecting them to fight, for the title, this quickly. But it was a good match, anyway. But it's just that when it comes to Pretty Deadly aligning with Austin Theory. I low-key feel like Austin Theory is too arrogant. Even though Pretty Deadly is arrogant, their arrogance is a little bit, more tailored, whereas Austin Theory's arrogance is just a little bit aggressive and more aggressive as he goes on. So I can't really imagine them aligning together. I just really feel like they really were just trying to mess with the Brawling Brutes, to fight them. Like, just because, they are a tag team and they want to pick a fight against, a really good tag team. And Ridge Holland and Butch / Pete really are a great tag team. They have a great chemistry with each other. So it's just like, I really feel like, and then on top of that, they did mention on SmackDown Lowdown that the Brawling Brutes did attack Pretty Deadly. So this is Pretty Deadly, I guess, so to speak, getting their lick back. So I can't imagine Pretty Deadly aligning with Austin, but at the same time, they might just want to just fight the Brawling Brutes just because, they just want to fight each other back and forth. And Sheamus really could have beat him if there wasn't like so much distraction going on. Like, there were a couple of times where he did get really close. But it's just that Austin just loves to take advantage of distractions and stuff. And then on top of that, he covered him up and then pulled the tights or whatever, and then that was it. So I do find it interesting, though, that Austin isn't defending his title at Night of Champions. That's different. I guess because the card is just so full, but at the same time, it's supposed to be all the titles. Why isn't this one? But okay. But then I guess you could say the same thing for the women's tag titles too. So
that is also very true because with the sense of, Raquel and Liv being stripped of those tag titles. It does say they will be having their match come this Monday, and we will actually crown new champions come Monday. So hey, I'm sure we will eventually get to the bottom of all the champions in offense, especially with the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions as well. But speaking of champions, So we get here because, of course, they played like a video package of everything that happened last week between the whole Bloodline situation. And as Roman were in the whole Bloodline was sitting there, they were talking and everything like that. Jimmy decides that he wants to get up and he wants to leave and things like that. And then Roman, Solo, he's just kind of standing in the back. Jay is kind of like, trying to get Jimmy to. It's like we're back. It's like we're really back to where we once started before, where Jay was being very much of a coward, with Roman, while Jimmy, on the other hand, is like, well, what you want to do? Like, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to allow you to punk me out like you do my brother. I'm not him. Okay. I'm not at all whatsoever. And I think that Roman is doing whatever he can to try to push Jimmy's buttons to the point where it gets to a lot of like a confliction between Jay and also maybe Solo. But Solo seems to be the one to kind of stay out of it, though. He just do what he's supposed to do, and that's it. He just follows orders. That's it. And Jay is acting as if like, you like not like this is not a this is not a problem with you. Like Roman sits here and say that I say all kind of things to him in regards to him. When he told him, he was like, he basically told that man that you need to obey me, like you need to respect me, you need to obey me, you will acknowledge me, and then he tells him to get out. And Jay is like, come on, man, just come on, like, let's go. And it's like, he's taunting with the wrong Uso. Honestly. Like, he really is. And we definitely dive a little bit more into exactly how solid the bloodline is not anymore. There are some other sales going on in there that is definitely separating the bloodline week by week. So, but Stephanie, will Jimmy go back to being nobody's bitch, or does he, shut up and just do as Jay does, and that's be Roman's bitch?
No, absolutely not. Because Jimmy is clearly his own person.
Mm-hmm.
And though he hadn't been acting like it over the past couple of months and stuff, it's like now, ever since the Usos lost their titles, they've been thrown on the outside and not treated as well because they don't have titles. And Roman really is smelling himself at this point because he really feels like he can do everything, better than the Usos, considering they haven't been, operating or clicking the way that they used to. And it's just like, he's just been treating them like trash. And it's so sad. And Jimmy is tired of it. He sees the writing on the wall. Yes, he is fed up. He sees the writing on the wall and he's just tired of it. And he keeps isolating him because in that promo, Roman was saying, like, we're going to invite the whole family for my celebration next week for the 1,000 days or whatever. And then he said, even you, Jay. He's isolating the brothers. And it's clear that he's isolating it. And Jimmy now sees that. And and because he sees that, he wants to remove himself from the situation, saying he was going to go eat. And for me, when I say I'm finna go eat, you need to leave me alone and let me get my food. But Roman wanted to start a fight and poke the bear. And I'm just like, don't poke him. Like, you're terrible that you're doing this to him. And then you say you need to obey me. You remember when we were cousins and I used to beat your butt? Like, excuse me? Like, that was just mad disrespectful. And then to say to obey me, like, number one, I'm a pet, or number two, I'm a child, or your child, is ridiculous. Like, if the Usos' parents and Solo's parents don't talk to him like that, then what makes you think you can talk to him like that? It's absolutely rude and disrespectful. And I was wondering how in the world Jimmy didn't slap him at this point. He really could have slapped him right here, and he would have been in the right. So Roman needs to chill out. So yeah, that's how I feel about that, because that just made me mad.
Yeah, it's just more so of basically how it was in the beginning time, where when Jay was the one who was giving the problems and being the problem, giving all the issues and stuff like that, how Roman isolated Jay from a lot of the situations and stuff like that, and really made a big focus on like Jimmy and Solo. And then now he's doing the same thing to Jimmy. Isolating him, and Jay is, going along with everything. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like come Night of Champions, and of course, as we get closer towards the end of the show and everything, I feel like when Night of Champions comes along, it's going to be that whatever the outcome is going to be quite interesting, I'll say. As we move on, because of course this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet, and we had a women's tag team match tonight. We have the returning Shotzi, who returned this past Monday to basically make it known that she is Raquel's mystery partner. We know that Raquel has, a history of not having long-lasting partners at all whatsoever. But with Shotzi, actually being absent due to the fact that, of course, she was taken out by Ronda and Shayna, someone who Raquel is very familiar with in various peculiar ways. But they took on the team of Damage Control's Bayley and Io, which we have seen a lot of friction between these two girls. And I think that after tonight, we definitely going to see a lot more from that. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, with the way this ended, where Raquel was sort of pinning Bayley, but I think Bayley was trying to counter it and flip her over. And with Io, okay, girl, I don't know what these folks I don't know what the hell's going on outside. But I hope y'all could not hear that. But if y'all did, I can't apologize for that, child. I don't know what the hell going on. But Io does a something like on top of Raquel, which makes her basically flip back, roll over onto Bayley and get the victory. And I don't know if this was like an accident or was it intentional or what? But after the match, Io was trying to explain to herself, like said, like, "Oh no, I wasn't trying to do that or anything like that." It just seems as if like Bayley taking the pinfall is crazy, and the damage between Damage Control is fully about to play out, especially with Dakota, not being here. I would say. But I don't know. It's just it's the tension between these two girls. I don't know if this could land them somewhere where I know that we could have maybe Bayley versus EO, because eventually it seems like to me Damage Control will probably not be in any control anymore. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. This match was pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part, and I love seeing Shotzi back because she was always one of my favorites. And yeah, this is the first time we've really seen her since WrestleMania. It's crazy. But yeah, as much as I love Raquel and Shotzi as a unit, as a babyface tag team, to be in the match and stuff, I just can't help but wonder where Team KC Squared is at this point. Even though I know they're on Raw, but I do wonder how come they haven't been put in the match, or where they are at this point, because they are an actual substantial tag team. So I guess maybe they're trying to wait and see when is the right time to introduce them to the main roster crowd. But outside of that, it's just like Raquel and Shotzi are a pretty good tag team for the most part. And when it comes to EO and Bayley, they might just have to hang it up at this point, because the way that Bayley speaks for EO when EO clearly doesn't like it, the way that Bayley and Dakota came out and basically ruined her chance to win the Raw Women's title at Backlash when the whole crowd was hot for her and everything. And even now, they have so many miscommunication issues to the point to where I really believe EO is going to pop off one day and just tell her, you really just need to shut up and not be, such a loudmouth all the time, and you not speak for me. And they're just not operating on the same wavelength that they used to. And it's going to be terrible, when they finally do fall apart. And I feel like they could very well fall apart as quickly as Monday. And when it really comes down to them, if they can't operate well when the tag titles are on the line, they're going to fall apart. Bayley is going to blame EO for it, and EO is going to be pissed, and EO is going to destroy her. And then they probably will fight after that point. And it's going to be funny trying to see how Dakota, what will Dakota come back to? She's not going to come back to a family at all. She's just going to come back by herself because they done tore each other up. So, yeah, Damage Control might need to just go ahead and hang it up at this point, because they're just not operating the same. And eventually I really do believe that they will fight. But a Bayley versus EO match is something that I am definitely interested in, because those are two of the best women that they have. So that match is going to be good regardless. But yeah, you hate to see it, but it's kind of over with for them.
Yeah, it truly is. So I don't know. I guess we more so have to kind of see how they work together on Monday, because they are in that Fatal 4-Way match. And I mean, if they're already having issues now, there's no telling what's going to happen come Monday when they are actually in this title opportunity. So if they break up, do they go back? Does EO Sky go back to EO Shirai? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know. I like the name Shirai. But if they choose to keep it as EO Sky, then I mean, so be it. But I don't know. Kind of have to find out and see what happens amongst these two teams come Monday. Or it would be stupid if Ronda and Shayna just stand there and look pretty, don't do crap and win the titles. Same way they won in WrestleMania. The way that the crowd would be in a fucking uproar over that, child, I'll laugh it off, because honestly, I don't have no dog in this fight with any of the women who are kind of in the Fatal 4-Way. I don't. I mean, whoever wins is great. I mean, it'd be nice to see Sonya and Chelsea win. Yeah, that would be cool. But honestly, truly, it probably will go to Ronda and Shayna. No lie. But if it doesn't, they shot the hell out of me with that one. I'll tell you that much. All right, so we get to this very interesting match here: Cameron Grimes versus Ashanti Adonis of Hit Row. We haven't seen Hit Row, and I honestly really can't tell you when's the last time I saw this loser of a faction. I can't tell you because I personally don't know, by no means necessary. What I do know is how they came out here looking like GTA characters finna go do a heist. You know, Saints Row members. You know, I guess they thought that was in a G Unit video or something.
I'm not gonna lie, that scared me a little bit.
I don't even. Yeah, I came out here looking like this and lost.
And then, weirdly enough, Top Dollar had on a FUBU jersey.
Y'all, you know, Hero, y'all make it so easy for me. Y'all really make it so easy for me to not care about y'all. But anywho, Cameron Grimes and Ashanti Adonis had a really nice match, I will say. But it wasn't enough to stop Cameron Grimes from folding his ass and taking the victory. Not only did Cameron Grimes fold to Hootie or Ashanti Adonis, Cameron Grimes ended up getting folded in the process by Baron Corbin, who was obviously still upset at the fact that he beat him in a short amount of time. The amount of time that Baron Corbin took to speak on that damn mic, that was literally the match for him. 3 seconds. And that was it. And obviously he's still upset about that. So to me, I feel like maybe Baron has drafted himself to SmackDown. Seems like it to me, because his issues with Cameron Grimes and the fact that he did beat him within that time frame. So any thoughts on this match, Stephanie? Because
from an in-ring perspective, it was fantastic, because even though we hadn't really seen Ashanti the Adonis in so long, it's like he really did show, that him, like, he as an athlete is really good in the ring. Like, he really did step up his game when it came to fighting Cameron Grimes, and Cameron Grimes was definitely game for it too. So even though it wasn't as long as most other matches are, it's just that, it was still pretty good for the most part, and I was impressed with what I saw from Ashanti the Adonis. And I want better for Hit Row always. But Cameron Grimes is on a tear right now, and he just debuted, and it's really cool that they're making him look so strong with his cave in, and it's just boom, and that's it. So that was cool, and I was glad he had his moment. But then, and even in the moments where Top Dollar tried to, interfere, it still didn't necessarily work in their favor, and that was it. So Baron Corbin attacking Cameron Grimes, I do think this is a good rivalry for Cameron Grimes to sort of, get his feet wet and start in with SmackDown. Like, I'm really cool with it, because he's also an established performer and an established heel at that to perform against. So I'm glad that Cameron Grimes is getting this opportunity to fight somebody like Baron Corbin with their rivalry. And I just want better for Hit Row. Like, I can't explain what or why it is that they're not necessarily clicking or whatever, but it's just, I just want so much better for them. Maybe, I don't know, like, will it take for them, like, splitting up? Will it take for them going back to NXT and finding their identity again? I don't know what it's going to take for Hit Row, but it makes me sad, because it seemed like they had, so much momentum in NXT, and now it's just out. And then they're gone for a longer period of time, and then now they're back, and it's like, no one's really checking for them anymore. And it's just like, it's so sad. You really hate to see it, but I want them to be more than the butt of a joke, like about Top Dollar botching or whatever. Like, I just want more for them, but that's really how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know what they're doing out here. But yeah, this was a yawn. For me wise, I mean, it was a cool match, but yeah, Hit Row, I don't know. I just feel like they needed somebody for Cameron Grimes to beat on. Here we go. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's get to what's really more important. And it's the fact that Bianca BelAir is here on our screen. And of course, this is Women Wrestling Talks. So we got to talk about the women. And of course, Bianca will be defending her Raw Women's Champion tomorrow in Saudi against Asuka. And Bianca, she comes out. My stuff was messing up a little bit, but I did get to hear just to kind of sum up a little bit what I did hear from her. I know she did talk about how Asuka, this is a different Asuka that she's facing versus the one she met at WrestleMania. Then she talks about how she didn't even get a chance to even do her celebration down in her hometown because Asuka interrupted. Not once, but twice did she get blue misted in her face. She still has green, mist on her arm, on her hand. Her eyes are still burning. Like there's the sensation of this mist is still lingering her vision is still blurry, but her mind is clear. And she's ready for Asuka. And at Night of Champions, Bianca is looking to retain that Raw Women's Champion. And Asuka decides to be a distraction. Sasha's come out, and these women get into a brawl where Asuka literally tried to put the Asuka lock on Bianca, like literally tried to hurt her arm in a sense, because we know that if you take Bianca's arm out, you might have a 90% chance of maybe not still winning this match. Because there's been times where people have tried to take out Bianca's arm and she finds that strength to put you in a KOD just like this. And even though everybody came out to try to assist and stop these women from brawling each other, Asuka is still left in all smiles, and Bianca is truly, truly, truly ready to put those hands on Asuka. I don't know why Asuka is dressed like a 4th grade teacher. I cannot tell you. Honestly, I cannot. I really wish I had the answers for it, but I honestly just feel like she's just dressed like a civilian. I don't know. But this kind of, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I do like Asuka and Bianca, of course, we know they're going to put on an amazing match. But when it comes to building feuds for Bianca and her challengers, it lacks a lot, which makes people not even care at the fact that sometimes some people not care at the fact that Bianca has been holding this title for so long that it's just like, I don't know. But I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see what these women do over in Saudi. Will Bianca retain her title tomorrow? I hope she does. But honestly, anything is really possible, especially if they may want to take this title off of Bianca and put it on Asuka. But we know exactly how Asuka reign went the last time she was holding this title. So, I don't know, man. It's interesting.
Joseph, no, she isn't. First of all, let's say that. And number two, I really feel like, how can you be scared of someone you defeated at WrestleMania? Let's make it make sense. Moving on, it's just, I really feel that with this feud, I would have liked it a whole lot better if they had just fought each other like before now. Like if she had really like gotten a chance to get her lick back before that. Quite honestly, but when Asuka attacked her from behind, I was just like, okay, girl. Okay. Like it's whatever at this point, because it's just like I feel like it's not giving more than it gave for the WrestleMania feud, and that low-key disappoints me. What's the difference, Joseph? What's the difference? Honestly, like outside of her attacking her with the mist, which is what she already did in the first feud, what's really the difference?
Yeah.
Like there truly isn't a difference between that Asuka and the other Asuka. I'm sorry. Like there really is no difference. And I'm wondering, why is that? Like I'm thinking she's trying, like if she was going to give us something different, I thought maybe she would just try to play like some weird mind games with her instead of coming in with the same thing and attacking her. I really feel like if she truly fully wanted the Raw Women's title as bad as she is giving that she wants it, she would have changed up her game plan. And to me, this is just giving nothing but the fact that that Asuka might very well lose on tomorrow. Like, it's given that she might lose because it doesn't seem like to me she doesn't want it enough. And Bianca isn't scared of anybody, and she isn't scared of someone who she defeated on the grandest stage of them all. She's just not. That's not who she is. And then she has more of a bone to pick with Asuka, not only just because she fought her once and because she wants to defeat her again, but because she embarrassed her in front of her folks, in front of her home crowd. Like, she has more of a motivation to destroy Asuka more than Asuka has motivation to destroy Bianca. And that's just the truth of it. So Bianca, I really feel like is going to win no matter what rumors are online saying that, oh, well, Bianca could be trying to take a break and all this other stuff. Bianca is on those billboards in Saudi Arabia with Roman Reigns. She is the face for the women's division at this point. So I just don't feel like she's going to lose. And it's not because, oh, well, they're just going to book her to win. No, she's not going to lose because she's the EST. Stop playing with her. But, you know, that's all I have to say.
I don't know. If Bianca retains that she falls victim to the Money in the Bank or whoever has the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't know. I feel like with Bianca, she's constantly have been holding this title. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, you know, her time is yet. I mean, but who's to say her time is tomorrow or the next night or anything like that? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, she is on the Money in the Bank poster as well. So I mean, who knows? Bianca could, you know, retain tomorrow and then go on to Money in the Bank, and then somebody could cash in on her because, you know, they don't allow the women to hold that Money in the Bank briefcase that long.
Unless it's Carmella.
Unless it's Carmella, that's about it.
Yeah, she's the one who's held it the longest out of men or women, actually.
Oh, it's like the only one. So, I mean, well, yeah. Yeah, because he's in the like WrestleMania or something, but I don't know. Whoever is going to be the person to dethrone Bianca BelAir as of right now is going to have to be somebody who is like top of their game, but they're gonna have to build some more stars in order to make it seem as if like this is another person who actually can be believable to be Bianca BelAir. Pleasure her being on SmackDown, so I don't know who it could be, but I'm pretty sure eventually somewhere down the road we will definitely find that out. All right. We move on within the show. We had LA Knight versus Rick Boogs. Of course, this match is taking place because LA Knight was upset at the fact that Rick Boogs lost in the match last week. And he decided he wanted to have a one-on-one. Even though they piped in those damn boos for LA Knight. We know the real. People love LA Knight. Over there in Saudi, they were chanting his name at the press conference earlier today. There is no way in hell you're going to tell me that people are not fans of LA Knight. Like, by no means, I don't care how many times you try to pipe in those boos or think that he's supposed to be a heel. He can be a heel, but he's lovable. People like him. They enjoy his trash talking and everything like that. They enjoy it because that man is great on the mic and he's a great wrestler in a sense. But even with this match here, even with the Street Profits coming out too, and they've even said that it's possible that they would want to add a match, add a match for LA Knight tomorrow on the show. So I don't know, man. Anything is really possible. It seems like they have a lot of high hopes for LA Knight, and if it's meant to happen for tomorrow for him to have a match in Saudi, then hey. I'm here for it. I have nothing bad to say, but it seems if like he does have a little bit of his hands full, especially coming forward, the Street Profits, especially Montez Ford. But with this match here, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was really cool. You know what I'm saying? But LA Knight did pick up the victory. Like I said, the Street Profits were out there on commentary, watching the match, commentating, all this and that. And I definitely enjoy seeing wrestlers come out and just be on commentary and just watch the match the same as everybody else does. But do you feel like this is LA Knight's moment in time? Because we do know that next week Money in the Bank qualifying matches do start, and LA Knight will be going against Montez Ford. Do we think he get the victory? Because Montez is a star within himself, and so is LA Knight. But does WWE feel like LA Knight could be the one to go over Montez Ford for this Money in the Bank qualifying match?
That's a really interesting question. But let me talk about the match first. The match was pretty enjoyable for the most part because you have Rick Boogs, who really was disrespected last week by LA Knight, and he really did, bring him to the limit by lifting him up and going crazy and stuff. And the Street Profits on commentary was so enjoyable. Like with Montez saying he's booging out, and every other phrase they were saying to like lead into to talk about both men in the match. It was just really enthralling and enjoyable, and I really really love it. Like them on commentary is something I feel like should happen more often. I loved it. But as far as LA Knight is concerned, I feel like this could be his moment. It really could be, because he's just so charismatic, and he's also really funny and entertaining to people, and it's just the sky is the limit for him. So if he were to qualify for the Money in the Bank match, I wouldn't be mad about it. And if he would go on to win, he would actually be one of my favorites to win. But then also when it comes to Montez, you can't deny his star power either. And I really feel like I've been waiting on Montez to have more of a moment since the Elimination Chamber this year. Like ever since he had his breakout moment in the Elimination Chamber match, I've been waiting for Montez to have his breakout, singles moment where he really lets people know I'm here and I'm here to be a major player, just like, just like the others. So, oh God, that's really hard. Like I want Montez to win because lately the Street Profits really hasn't won a lot of things, especially since the tag titles were held hostage by the Usos and now they're being held by KO and Sammy. And it doesn't look like they're getting ready to challenge them. So I really feel like Montez would be, my favorite to be Mr. Money in the Bank, but LA is right there too. But I'm not sure that LA would necessarily need to win Money in the Bank either. So yeah, it's hard. It's really hard for me. It's hard for me personally. Clearly in the comments, everybody really is here for LA Knight, but it's just when it comes to the Money in the Bank of it all, I would want Montez to win. But yeah, that's it.
Right. No, I was trying to see what the hell was going on the Siege, and child, I seen something. I was like, "What the hell is going on right now?" So I've been double screening a lot tonight. See a lot of guys preferring LA Knight over Montez, and I don't know. It is very 50-50 for some people. I would have to say, but I don't know. I don't even know who could win. It would be nice for LA Knight to win because I feel like but it's just like damn. I am a big fan of Montez. I love the Street Profits. I do like LA Knight as well. But I do feel like with LA Knight, they could maybe want to shoot their rocket on him. And I don't think anybody else could win the Money in the Bank other than him. Unless you put Omos in the match and it's like fuck LA Knight. Motherfucking Omos gonna win. But that's just me. Just me. Alright. But yeah, so we move on because before we even got to this match here, Karrion Kross, of course, in the back, playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, casting spells, all types of bullshit. Nobody cares. We get here because he has a match with AJ Styles, and it's only because every time somebody comes back, he always got to find his way to bother them. And then, not only that, you fucking lose. Like, why do you keep bothering people? And then you lose the match. Why are you here? You come out here with your tarot cards and you just say that, oh, well, this is going to happen to this person, blah, blah, blah. And then you fucking lose. Send his ass back to NXT today. Because you just bothering everybody, and then you lose. I don't even remember the last match you even goddamn won. I can't even tell you because every time I look, you always bothering people, and then you lose. You're a waste of space. So, but shout out to AJ Styles for winning this match. This does give him a lot of momentum going into Night of Champions when he faces Seth Rollins. And he did cut a promo afterwards, and he's letting it be known that, look, I'm familiar. He's familiar with Seth. He knows what Seth is capable of. But AJ Styles is letting it be known that he's taking that title. He's bringing it back home with him. Point blank, period. None more, none less. But I don't have any words for Mr. Karrion Kross. Go ahead, Stephanie. I don't know.
Yeah, Karrion's on the struggle bus.
Child.
Like, I really feel like this is not the same Karrion who got called up once the regime change happened, and then he came in beating up on Drew McIntyre and saying that he wanted to challenge Roman. And I don't know where we went wrong. I don't know. It's not giving what it's supposed to give, and it just seems like he always chooses like random people to beef with, and it's just like, why? Like, are you just the mystical locker room bully? And I don't know. But it's like, as soon as he said he wanted to fight AJ, I was just like, oh, so you setting yourself up, okay? And then with AJ getting ready to fight Seth tomorrow, it's just like, okay, well, yep, let's get this work. And AJ beat him, so it's just like, okay, here we are. And then what was so beautiful about it, though, was like, even when Scarlett was interfering, AJ had Mia come out, and I was so happy to see Mia come out with her blue hair and her outfit and everything. I was like, Mia, you are so iconic and cute. I love you. And she came out there and even the eyes. But either way, you know, I knew AJ was just gonna win this. So AJ won, and it was great. And I feel like him and Seth Rollins is really going to be like one of the matches of the year. I cannot wait to see them fight tooth and nail for this World Heavyweight title. And I low-key Mia Yim versus Scarlett. That wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't fight it. But I low-key feel like Mia would win. But, you know, AJ, good luck. Because, sweetheart, you're awesome. But then I just feel like so much stuff has been made about Seth being in movies and stuff. And I'm just like, no. Y'all need to stop playing with that man and making it seem like wrestling isn't serious and important to him just because he's on a movie set. Yeah.
This is going to be 1/3 of the triple main event for a 7-match card. I'm hoping that Seth and AJ go on last, because I mean, this is about introducing a new champion, a new title, and I feel like they should be the ones to go on last. Let Roman and them open up the damn show. Get their shit out the fucking way. Let Brock and Cody be like in the middle somewhere, but I feel like with these two, they should definitely close out the show. It's only right, unless they want to flip it and have like Cody and Brock first, and then have Seth and AJ like in the middle somewhere, and then have the Roman and all them other people close out. So, I don't know. But Joseph said, I think, and he said, not me, people are grasping at straws because we know this is a secondary title created because Roman won't work Mondays. It's not even just the fact that he won't work Mondays. The man won't even show up. He won't. So, I don't know. You know, whatever.
I feel like if we're going by old school rules, I would really prefer for the World Heavyweight title match to actually main event.
Yeah.
You know, even though I know they really don't go by old school rules like that much anymore, unless it's the main event for the Undisputed title. I feel like since that title isn't being defended, then maybe they should put the World Heavyweight title at the end, because, you know, that just makes sense for me from an old school perspective. Like, that title always main evented. So that should be the main event, and not necessarily like a Cody and Brock situation, or Kevin and KO and Sammy and Roman and Solo. But, you know, you just never know. But I wouldn't want them to start either, because that's low-key given like mid-2000s to 2010s, and I don't want that to happen again. So yeah.
We'll definitely know and find out who will be starting. They'll probably share that on the kickoff show, or, you know, somebody's going to leak what matches in what order, like they always do.
Lord.
Of course, before we get into closing out tonight, we do have, of course, like I said, qualifying matches are happening next week. We have Zelina Vega versus Lacey Evans. And then we have Montez Ford versus LA Knight. These two matches will be starting with the qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. Extremely excited to see what the outcome is going to be for all of them. I am hoping that Zelina makes it. With
Me
Montez
too.
and LA Knight, it is really up in the air right now. But I would love to see Montez. I would love to see LA Knight. But I don't know. Lacey Evans, Ric Flair's baby mama. I mean, I guess if you want to put it into that terminology, I guess so. I don't know. I wasn't there when the baby was conceived or delivered. Also,
it's Zelina's time.
Well, I hope y'all are ready for this celebration. 1,000 days as champion for you guys. I personally could not care. So we get here because it's closing out the show with the KO show and their special guests that they were having were Roman and Solo. Of course, they talked about having to defend their titles come this Saturday, tomorrow, and they are pretty excited about it. And the Usos end up coming out beforehand to speak on behalf of Roman and Solo. And then Solo is there, and then out comes Roman. And Roman seems to be very, very upset at the fact that they are out here for what? What is like? He still finds a way to continue to try to cower down Jimmy. And then Jay is just like, he's just there. He's trying to avoid all trouble in any way that he can. You know what I'm saying? And even with the midst of everything breaking out in the brawl and taking out KO and Sammy and Roman throwing out the chairs and stuff and throwing out everything inside the ring to spear the hell out of Sami Zayn. You just look at this here where Paul, Solo, Roman, and Jay are all together. But Jimmy is really not feeling it. He's not feeling it. Something, I don't know, but something could really transpire come tomorrow. And I don't know if Jimmy is going to be the one to be on the same boat of Paige or easy to be put back into something, you know what I'm saying? The way that Jay was. Jay was very open, willingly being accepted back and everything like that. But with Jimmy, I don't think he's going to be too open to being a part of this bloodline too long, honestly.
He ain't. He really ain't. And and the picture is right there. Like, I love, before we even talk about this part, the part that really got me together was when Kevin decided to take the microphone away from Sammy a bit, because Sammy has been the one that's been jaw jacking at the Usos over and over again. Ever since, they took the titles from them, trying to tell them that they deserve better or whatever and stuff like that. And Kevin said, look, I agree with Sammy. I can't stand y'all, but I agree with Sammy. Y'all don't deserve this because y'all are the greatest tag team, in the world, and y'all are being treated like his do boys. And that, of course, he didn't say do boys, but that's essentially what he said. And y'all deserve better than that, because it's just like, and it's true, because in any other world it would be the Usos versus KO and Sammy, but that's not what's going on. It's like, if Roman truly cared about the Usos like he says he does, he would have given them one last chance, and this last chance would have been happening at Night of Champions if he truly cared about them. But he doesn't. He only cares about, his glory And not even Solo's glory. He only cares about his own glory. And the visual of having all the titles will make him look like it would feed his ego and not even care about the bloodline or uplifting the bloodline like he says he wants to do. No, he's clearly lying and he doesn't care about that. And Kevin called it right on the money. He called him a narcissist. And that's exactly what Roman Reigns is. This is a classic textbook case of narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. And he's terrible. It's like you say you care about them, but yet and still all you do is break them down just so you can make yourself feel good. And that is not what a real leader does. That's not what a real family member does. They're supposed to lift you up and encourage you. And he is not doing that for the Usos. And sadly, Jay is just going along with it because he gave the titles back, even though he low-key hesitated. But he didn't hesitate as long as Jimmy did. Jimmy was really remembering the weight of those titles. Both of them titles that he has held both separately and together along with his brother. And he didn't want to hand them to Solo and Roman. He clearly didn't want to hand it to them because they know. Like, they know, and that's not what, and that's not what he wants. And this picture is living proof of that. You see them doing all the poses and everything, and Jimmy is not a part of it. Jimmy is tired. He is absolutely tired of the BS, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if Jimmy ruined their chances of winning the tag titles from KO and Sammy. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And I wouldn't blame him for it either, because Roman is really doing absolutely too much, and he is not showing them the love that he claimed he does. He's just hurting them and destroying them, and also further not acknowledging, there's that word, not acknowledging the fact that they were there before he was. And without them, like Kevin said, he wouldn't be champion still. So let's see how he works it without them. Let's see.
I mean, but that is true though. I mean, in multiple occasions, I've told y'all this, that the bloodline is nothing if Roman does not have those damn titles, if he doesn't have Jimmy and Jay, and if he manages to lose Solo, I'm sure hell is going to be the same exact way, and Paul is going to go back to being exactly what Cody Rhodes said, an advocate. Everything that Cody Rhodes told Roman is exactly what Roman would be if he did not have all of this. He will always go back to being the big dog. You know what I'm saying? And he takes advantage of the fact that he knows that they would do anything for him. He knows that they would do anything to make sure that he continues to stay on top. But what does he do for them?
Not a thing.
Nothing. He walks around and acts like he's so perfect. Like he does nothing wrong at all whatsoever. Because he's your tribal chief. And I put that in air quotes. Because there was a sign out there that said The Rock is a true tribal chief. And I've been told y'all that too.
Exactly.
So, just saying. But,
and I have more to say, actually. I have more to say. Because another part of being, a classic narcissist is the fact that you don't want to be held accountable for your actions. And I bet you if Jimmy were to fully hold him accountable and tell him, how messed up he is, he wouldn't want to hear it. He'd just flip it on them. He would flip it on him the whole time. And it's just so terrible. It's really terrible. Like, you're nothing without them. And talking about him being the big dog, I'm more than sure that Roman does not want to go back to them big dog days, because before he told us that his name was Joe and he was living with something that he wound up surviving, we wasn't checking for him. We weren't checking for him like that. We were not checking for him like that. You were the Universal Champion and you had to give it up because you told us that your name was Joe. And even after that, we were still okay with you after that. We were cheering you because, you survived that thing, and God bless you because that was amazing. But if it weren't for the Usos and if it weren't for you changing everything and all that, like, no, this wouldn't be the case at all. So he needs to chill out.
This is very true. Stephanie Hardy Wrestling Podcast must have a book by the bed about narcissism. I mean, Well, I think there's a lot of people in this world who you come across who are narcissists, and Roman is definitely one of them. He knows how to manipulate you into thinking that you're the problem, you're the issue, when in actuality he is. And then he finds his way to try to make it seem like, oh, well, I forgive you. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to do that. You know, but he's not doing that with Solo. He's only doing that with Jay and Jimmy. And he'll do it to Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman's a coward, so it doesn't matter. He's scared of Roman anyway. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's really all that it is. And so the more that there's tension and issues going on amongst the bloodline, the more and more I become happier every day that eventually the bloodline will be absolutely no more. And I will absolutely go on and continue to live my life each and every day, knowing that I told y'all that this year was the year that the bloodline is coming to an end.
Yep, you said it.
And slowly but surely, it is definitely happening.
Yep, Cody said so. You'll be a Roman without a ring. Jimmy will leave you, and Jay will leave you too.
God damn it, what's a Roman without a ring, bitch? Okay.
And Paul goes back to being an advocate.
I'm telling you, like, Cody was spitting some shit that night, and honestly, I felt like we should have passed around a collection plate.
Exactly. Every time he talk.
Like, I'm telling you.
The doors of the church are open.
The doors of the church is open. Give your life to God. I'll tell you that.
Will there be one?
Will there be one? Come as you are. Is anybody up here to feel like they want to give their life to Christ? Please step forward. We are open to everybody. And then the choir sing in the background. We lift our hands in the sanctuary. All kinds of things is going on, back there. But yeah, this pretty much brings us to the end of our post show here for SmackDown. Of course, you guys know we do not cover Rampage anymore. You can look for that on Wednesday, or you can actually watch the show. You can watch the spoilers, you prefer. You choose, you want, whatever. But just kind of give you guys a rundown what's happening this weekend. Continue on with tonight. Why no Rampage? Because honestly, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I do not care about Rampage. I don't. Nothing about Rampage makes me feel like I should tune in to care. I barely even watch Dynamite. Not gonna even lie. I'm just going to be honest. And it's only because a lot of times I'm working too, though. So I'm not able to watch the full product of AEW. And honestly, Rampage I'm only there for certain people if I'm going to watch Rampage. Honestly, truly. I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole thing because I honestly, I'm not invested in it by no means. But that's just me. So everybody else may feel indifferent, but I don't give a damn about Rampage. I can kill this.
But JD, logistically speaking, the reason why we're not covering Rampage anymore is because, of course, AEW added a new show, Collision, which will be premiering next month. It's coming up. So because that's happening, we at Women's Wrestling Talk, we talked about it, and it makes more sense for Rampage and Collision to be talked about as two entities on the same after show, as opposed to us talking about SmackDown and Rampage for two different promotions that don't necessarily coalesce together. So that's really logistically the reason why we're not covering Rampage anymore and just SmackDown now. So yeah, that's the reason why. That's why.
Fuck Rampage. I don't care nothing about it. But if you want to watch Rampage, by all means, go watch it. I'm sure they have some great things going on. Of course, Double or Nothing is happening on Sunday. Like I said, let me give you that rundown. Tonight, after this post show here, we're going to go over and talk about Under Siege with me and my tag partner, Nikki, because Under Siege for Impact was tonight. There's a lot of things that happened on Under Siege, and we're definitely going to talk about it. So definitely stay tuned in for that. That post show will be happening at 11:30 Central Time. If you want to come in and hang out and talk about what's happening, we definitely don't mind it. Definitely come in because we're going to be talking about things like that over there. Come tomorrow, of course. Saturday, it is Night of Champions. Night of Champions happening at like brunch time. Yes, I am doing double duty tonight. So tomorrow I'm working all weekend. You're gonna see my face a lot here this weekend. I'm just saying I'm on almost basically all the damn post shows. So tomorrow's Night of Champions. Of course, that happens earlier throughout the day, but later on that night, me and Nikki are going to be covering Night of Champions post show. And on Sunday, there will be NXT Battleground and AEW's Double or Nothing. Me and Nikki will be here for Battleground for NXT, and possibly Double or Nothing. That hasn't really truly been confirmed as of right now, but I'm sure we will talk about it some more, and then we'll figure out if we're going to be doing Double or Nothing. So that's pretty much your weekend. Under Siege post show is happening at 11:30. Night of Champions, NXT Battleground, AEW Double or Nothing. So follow our social media. You will figure out from there exactly what the hell is going on. Stephanie, let everyone know where they can find you at.
Okay, JD, thank you for the compliment of my my scarf and my earrings. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And of course, listen to my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast and HWP Extra. So yeah, I do technically have two shows, but it's under the same umbrella, so y'all get it. Listen to all of my episodes audio-wise everywhere you get your podcast, as well as, subscribe to the YouTube channel on The Hardy Wrestling Podcast with the purple and pink logo with HWP in the middle. This week was busy for me. I had 3 interviews, one with Nikki Bougie, who of course we love here on Women's Wrestling Talk, and one half of the most dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history, the Salt Shakers. I was so happy to talk to her, so please check that out, as well as talk to All Elite Keeks from Public Enemies Podcast, as well as Movie Mike, your favorite filmmaker, on today. So all 3 of those interviews should be up and ready to listen to, but the video for Movie Mike should be up by tomorrow. But either way, you can catch it wherever you catch your podcast. I'm really excited for a lot of the interviews I have coming up on the horizon. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I did think that I wanted to do an extra episode tomorrow, but I might just relax tomorrow because there's a lot of wrestling going on. So yeah, that's all the places where you can catch me. You can also read my articles on www.talkpod.com, and you can catch me on the WoW Superheroes After Show with Katrina Blake from In Cat We Trust and Emily May Heller every Monday. I'm not sure if we'll do it this Monday because it is Memorial Day. But either way, WoW's going to be on, and I do encourage you to watch it. So, yeah.
Right. And other than that, me, of course, y'all know. You can only Google me. That's where you're going to always find me, at Driune Santana, DRUIUNE. That's where you're going to find me. Like I said, you can also find me back here tonight for, What is Sleep? You can also find me back here tonight for Under Siege with Nikki. We're going to talk about that in an hour or so. So definitely come back for that, and the notifications on too. Definitely check out the website. Articles are going out each and every day. Make sure you continue to follow our socials at WWE Talk Pod. Make sure you follow our YouTube. There are some interviews that have dropped as well. And go check out some of our other post shows too with our other hosts as well. They had the news earlier today, so definitely go check that out if you may have missed it. Other than that, we thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here. And well, I can't say see y'all next time because next time is going to be in the next hour. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and definitely come back for the Under Siege post show with me and Nikki. Until next time, bye.
T-1.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.